Turn the mic on. Peace, peace, peace. I am Phillip Roundtree, and you are tuned into the June 25th edition of Rhetorically Speaking. Props to the people who are watching on Facebook Live. Shouts to those who are watching on YouTube Live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And salute to the people who are watching on Instagram Live. You don't get to see the bells and whistles of the broadcast that I put together, right? It's something that I've learned during quarantine. Hopefully we've all learned something, if not something tangible about, fixing something or something creatively. Hopefully we learn something about ourselves. And so in the midst of this, I have been able to curate this entire show, rhetorically speaking. So yeah, we're going to get right to the business, man. We're going to get right to the business. Listen, so unless you've been under a rock, and people have been under rocks and will continue to be under rocks. So I was sitting there having a discussion with somebody in my IG feed, and they were like, yo, they said, how are you? And I said, oh, I'm cool, I'm chilling. It was like, yo, I'm angry. I'm angry every day. It ain't no justice. And I was like, sheesh, like I felt it in the IG posts. I'm like, yo, you sound very, very upset. And I understand why you sound upset, right? But yo, if you looking for justice, it ain't nothing I'm going to see in my lifetime. I'm resolved to that fact that I will not see justice. Because as I always say, it can't be justice because we're talking about hundreds of years of atrocities committed against the people. Now, can we talk about accountability? Yeah, we could talk about accountability. What is accountability? Accountability is people who killed George Floyd, arrested, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. What is accountability? The cowards that killed Breonna Taylor are arrested, not just fired, because if you fire someone, clearly there's some basis there for some type of criminal charges taking place or being levied against the individual. Elijah McClain, we talk about Charlene, so many people, man. And this is just under the guise of, under the umbrella of the legal system and dealing with the police. We're not even talking about the asbestos that's in Philly schools. We're not talking about the only learning about Black history in February, right? There's no full curriculum dedicated to learning about people that have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. So justice, nah, there's no such thing as justice for me. And if you hold it, if you continue to be angry and jeopardizing your wellness because you're looking for justice, then man, you're going to be that angry man that was with Martin in the DMV. You know what I mean? When he told him, man, sit your down, right? You're going to be him. And so, hey, I can't tell you how to cope with life. I can only make suggestions. I will find ways to enjoy this process, to experience some type of peace. Because otherwise, you're going to be out here hurting for a very long time. And so when we talk about this Wilmington, North Carolina Police Department and these three officers who've subsequently been fired, I always want to say Boyd and Wynorski when I think about police officers. Unless you've been living under a rock. Again, that's one of my favorite phrases, right? House Party, when they stopped Pops, it was officers Boyd and Wynorski, and they were harassing Pops who was just walking down the street. So yeah, I attribute that to all cops. But these three cops, they weren't named Boyd and Wynorski. Their names were Kevin Pannier, James Gilmore, and Corporal Jesse Moore II. They all three have been fired. Why were they fired? Because they were caught using hate-filled speech. So I guess unbeknownst to Kevin Piner, he was in his vehicle and he had his recorder on. And they caught all of the derogatory remarks made from both him and his homies in a nearly 2 hour long video, right? So Piner's talking about he's ready for a civil war. and talked about slaughtering black folk, referring to them as the N word. Talking about, I can't wait. God, I can't wait. I could picture him saying that. Like it's Christmas. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I can't wait to go to sleep and wake up and Santa's going to be here and there's going to be gifts under the tree. Oh my God, I can't wait to kill Negroes. But he used the other term. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I can picture this police officer. I have no face to put to the name, but I can picture this taking place. Because again, we're talking about something that didn't just start today or when this conversation was recorded. This has been talks amongst police and slave catchers for centuries. He also said, and when you read some of this stuff, I'm not going to even read all of it. Yes, I am. Right? Yes, I am. I'm going to read what else is here. Then his homie pulled up, Gilmore. And so they're sitting there talking about Black Lives Matter's protest. And it says that the department's only concern is kneeling down with the black folks. Gilmore described in a video he saw about white people bowing down on their knees and worshiping blacks. Saying, how many times have I told you? It's almost like they think they're their own God. Kanye told me I am a God. Hurry up with my damn massage. I do think I'm a God, right? I'm not a 5%er, but listen, the Asiatic black man, again, that's too rich for y'all. That might be too rich for y'all. And so as far as Moore, who said he was off duty and on his personal phone at the time when he was talking to this boy, he was just venting about an arrest that he had made, right? That was causing him a lot of stress and that he was embarrassed about the comments that he made. Piner came out and said, listen, this isn't characteristic of who I am. I find these embarrassing. He said the protest had caused him a great deal of stress. Talking about, listen, I saw a video on social media of a black man calling on people to find officers' homes and kill their families. Yeah, but what does this have to do with the comments that you made when you were amongst your friends and you didn't think anybody was listening? Again, that's what we call integrity, right? He said that he reached out to the employee assistance program because he felt he was at a breaking point. Maybe what? Kudos to him. Golf clap for reaching out to the EAP program to possibly seek some type of therapy. Yes, the acute issue might have been stress, which might be causing anxiety and some type of depression, but it's not causing racism. That's not what's causing racism. That's not causing how you've talked made derogatory comments about this police chief who's black and about your black coworkers. That has nothing to do with the person who said they want to go to the cops' homes. And again, and this goes to the point that, you know, I heard Bomani Jones make when it comes to white folk always wanting the benefit of the doubt, and we give them, not we, me personally, but American society continues to give them the benefit of the doubt. They can make these egregious remarks. They can kill some people, like we saw in Missouri, and like we saw in different places. And it's, oh, I was just stressed out. I was having a bad day. I wasn't feeling myself. And they get the benefit of the doubt. And that's not attributed to other groups, other individuals, especially police. Police desire to have this, and maybe because they were given this power to where they think they are absolved from any and everything. They've been behaving a certain way for so long that it's second nature to them. And so why shouldn't I be forgiven? I could have committed heinous atrocities and continue to keep my job or go find another. And so this, again, and we talk about that idea of white privilege that comes out to where you even feel comfortable saying, This isn't characteristic of who I am. It's not characteristic of who you are. Then who are you? If this is taking place when you think nobody's around. He's saying he doesn't talk like this. But notice he says he doesn't talk like this. He's not saying he doesn't think like this. What's at stake now? What's at stake is his pension. What's at stake is their livelihood. Because they probably lack the skills to do anything else. The police chief recommended that none of them be hired in the city of Wilmington. But can they go to Greensboro and be hired? Can they go to Chapel Hill and be hired? Or will this mark on their record carry to other places? And so when we have this conversation, again, about justice, this isn't justice. They've been on the force since the 90s. Talking about 20 some odd years harboring these thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Where's the justice for the community that they've been policing with this type of mindset? The N-words that they might have roughed up because they didn't have body cameras. The N-words that they stopped and frisked just because they wanted to. Again, it's bigger than this one incident. This is who they are. Now, I'm a social worker, so I believe firmly in the idea of change. But can you have this come to Jesus moment within 48 hours? No. You show it by your actions. What do your actions look like afterwards? But unfortunately, what's going to happen with these individuals, they are going to get a job somewhere else because we understand the culture of the police force here in America. They're going to be looked at as martyrs. They're going to be looked at and given this level of prestige because they stood in their truth, even if their truth is harmful for those around them. And I keep looking at this black chief like, I hear you. I hear you. Right? I hear you, brother. Jamal Johnson says, can they change though? They are rooted in hatred, which means hate is what holds them up. Again, I'm a firm believer in change. It takes a lot of self-assessing. This isn't a 1 day or a 1 month or even a 1 year process. This is something ongoing. Can they atone for their harm? I don't know. Can they atone for the harm that they've bestowed upon a community? It's predestined says unions are going to fight to get them reinstated because the unions have so much political power. Indeed. It might get a reprimand. It might get a write-up like the officers in Elijah McClain's case. Got him a written write-up. How many times you've been written up? I know I've had a verbal and a written. Might be because you late. Might be because you cut corners doing your work. Think you care about them write-ups? Man, get this out of my face. I'm not worried about that. Now think of it on a higher level. Well, we're talking about you get a write-up for a murder in Elijah McClain's case. Or you get put on desk duty for a 2 to 3 week investigation, and then you back out in these streets. But think about it. At bare minimum, they're not even saying, yo, you killed somebody. Go get a psychological evaluation. It's mandated. You need to be in therapy for X amount of time, a year, once a week. No, they put them right back out on the street with a deadly weapon. And that's the extreme. We're not talking about the excessive force, 18 to 19 complaints, like the coward that killed George Floyd. No, it continues to be business as usual. And so when we talk about defund the police, we're talking about because there is no accountability. It's Predestined says she got written up at Children's Place. If you getting written up at Children's Place, you need to be out. What, you ain't put the little flip-flops in the right sizes? Because I hate that when I go there. But again, these three are gone. At least for right now. I mean, similarly, here in Philadelphia, it's so much going on when we talk about the police in the community. Danielle Outlaw, the black woman commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department, came out today along with Mayor Kinney and apologized for tear gassing peaceful protesters who were on a stretch of a highway here in Philadelphia. And this comes on the heels of a New York Times article that showed exactly what happened. So of course, that pressure comes out and pressure busts pipes. Because otherwise they would have stood on that. And what the hell does an apology do? You punched you in the face, shot you with a rubber bullet in your back. Shot some tear gas all up in your muffin. And your muffin is your face. My bad. What? My bad? That's what I get? For everything that's taken place, I get a yo, my bad? Again, this is where we talk about the idea of accountability and why I say there can never be justice. But then you look about and you look in South Philly at Marconi Plaza and you see these thuggish Italian people. Notice they don't use thugs when they talk about those folk who live out in South Philly. You see nothing happen with them and they walking around with baseball bats. AK-47 standing in front of a Christopher Columbus statue. Talking about they protecting it for their heritage. If that's the best thing you got to offer for your heritage, then damn, I feel sorry for you. That's the best representation that you have? Then y'all start spaghetti or some Chef Boyardee, maybe? Can you protect him with your life? But this Christopher Columbus statue, bro, y'all wildin'. But conversely, what didn't happen? We didn't see these armed thugs shot with tear gas, shot with rubber bullets. No, we see them sharing pizza with the police who were protecting them from the peaceful protesters. It took a hip hop photographer who was punched on the face while he was recording to get some justice. Justice. They arrested the 58-year-old man. Like, this all you got to do with your life at 58? Is to protect a Christopher Columbus statue. But I mean, if we're going to have a conversation, let's talk about how South Philly is probably the racist place in Philadelphia, outside the neighborhood that I live in, Mayfair. I saw a sister on Facebook. She edited a post that had Candace Owens and those twin suckers, and it's talking about dear white people, yada yada yada. And she got some backlash on it, so she put dear everybody. Then start talking about racism, and this says everybody could be racist. No, we got to start reading books too. We got to start thinking critically too. No, everybody cannot be racist. That's not how this game goes. That's not how the game goes. With racism, you got to have some type of power. Right? You have to have some type of power. You have to have some form of prejudice. And then I can sit and break down the different types of power that exist. But think about it here in America. Who has the power? Who are prejudiced? Well, many people could be prejudiced, right? People could be prejudiced, but when we start putting these things together, only one group has that. It's the same group who these cops belong to. The same group that want the benefit of the doubt, that be like, yo, my bad for spewing racist nonsense. It's white people. And it's just like, yo, sis, don't run away. Stand in your truth. Speak truth to power. But again, so many of us are so afraid to lose followers. I'll be unfollowing a lot of y'all folk on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Because in times of high stress, in times of pressure, y'all show who y'all are. And like our ghetto philosopher, Meek Mill, said, when people show you who they are, you believe them. I know it wasn't Meek Mill, but it feels so much better to think that Meek said that. And that he's not in the shade room arguing with Trey Songz. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's the game. But when we talk about racism, and it's just like, this has been the third time talking about this story this week. Yo, that Noose came out. And I don't know if you've seen a picture of that Noose. But I'm going to drop it down for you one time. That is the Noose that was found in Bubba Wallace's garage. That ain't no damn Boy Scout knot. That's I'ma hang me some niggas. Niggers. Nobody saw that Family Feud that had that family on there, and it was like mommy, mama. So that's my impression. That's a I'ma hang me some niggas noose. And so, yeah, maybe it's been there since October 2019, which again speaks to a larger issue because white folk are just walking past it. And the reason why I say white folk, because we know it's only one black driver in NASCAR, 7 in its history. He's not the first person to be in the Talladega garage. People seeing that like, oh, that's cool. That's just a little joint we pull down. No, it ain't. Not at all. It's no argument that could be made for an individual for whoever tied that. Either it was a bad joke, you're a racist. You did it intentionally. Because for some reason you might not like black folk. you're a racist. Or you have no idea of the symbolism of a noose. You're a stupid racist. And we talking about NASCAR here. NASCAR fans aren't the most intelligent. Except for Keaton. You know what I mean? Shout out to Keaton Nichols. He a NASCAR fan, his dad a NASCAR fan. Don't make no sense to me. But we know who their base has and always will be. The Southern racist. The same Southern racists who showed up out at Talladega, driving around with their Confederate flags. Because how dare you try to ban us when we've supported you for so long? And they got a point. They got a point. Y'all took our money for this long, and now you're saying, yo, we can't be who we are. We can't be our authentic racist selves. I would be pissed off too. They flying flags that say defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. I wish they did have that. Defund NASCAR. Of course I'm going to say that. If I've been giving y'all my money for this long, and you trying to change the game, and I'm not trying to change with the times. That's that dirty money. That's that nasty money that they've been taking for all these years. That they low-key still want. Because what happened? They probably seen it. Still let these people in though, right? They got that ticket. So how much are they standing in their truth and standing on principles and some type of moral authority? They still took that bread though. But yo, just keep that out there. If you against it, you against it. You don't want that type of money. And you might not necessarily be able to legislate against somebody's beliefs. But if they bringing the flags to the parking lot and you catch wind of it, send some of your folk outside. Start taking pictures, plaster them up on the wall at the ticket joint where they getting their hand and their tickets in. Oh no, you had a Confederate flag out there just now. We'll refund you your money. But again, that's really if you're about that life. But don't sit and tell me, don't somebody said they grandpa or great uncle said, don't piss on me and say that Mercury is in retrograde or something like that. Don't do that. Because we see it for what it is. And NASCAR was right to step out and make that statement about it being a racist act. Because it's a racist act. Just because you dumb. And at some point, we was talking about it earlier in the men's group that I was having a conversation in. Like, yo, we just got to start calling people stupid. And you know how I feel about that word. I don't like calling people stupid because I think everybody has strengths. Everybody has strengths. But stupid moments are stupid moments. Right? Stupid moments are stupid moments. Which leads to a bigger issue that you might be a racist if you tying knots. That look like nooses. Again, Meek Mill said when people show you who they are, you should believe them. Jamal Johnson says stupid is a weakness then. Hey, listen, man. Racism is definitely shows inability to a lack of understanding of self to be a racist. a lack of understanding about your surroundings, a lack of understanding about history, a lack of compassion for humanity. Racism is all those things. So, hey man, I wish somebody would show up with a noose like that around me. I ain't gonna fight you, because I'm Martin Luther King with it. But I might say some bad words, some expletives, and send them your direction. And I might throw some stuff at your car. And so last but not least, and it's unfortunate, it's a sad story, even though he's in a better place, and we can acknowledge that he's in a better place. Today would have been the 18th birthday of one Tamir Rice, who was murdered by Cleveland police back in November 2014. Adding insult to injury, the officer was never charged for killing Tamir. And so here we are 6 years later, and we're still grieving the loss of Tamir, because his death, like I said, when we talk about the idea of police brutality, they just continue to manifest themselves in the deaths of others along the way. And so it's like a stockpile of loss, of hurt, of pain that a community and a woman like Samaria Rice, Tamir's mom, has to endure day in and day out. But to her credit, she says, I have to be on the front lines because I am Tamir's mother. Tamir is in high demand. When these things, police shootings of unarmed black people, happen, I'm not able to rest. I'm not able to be normal. Normalcy went out the window when my son got murdered. Again, we're talking about turning tragedy to triumph. It sounds so cliche and corny, and I'm mad I even said it. But it's potentially finding a sense of purpose in tragedy, in pain. She now goes out as an activist and has conversations about the oppression experienced by Black and Latinx folk out here in the world. I'm always amazed at when parents lose children and they're still able to somehow go on. Some only just to live, which is enough. But some go out of their way to try and thrive. It's courageous all the way around. My daughter turns 12 in October. I can only imagine that pain. I don't want to have to. I know how I feel when she's not here for 24 hours. It feels like a piece of me is gone. Even though she's only less than 20 miles away. So I can only imagine when someone loses a child at the hands of the recklessness of somebody else, and what that feels like, and why she may feel that there will never be justice, that she only hopes for accountability. So on his 18th birthday, say rest in power, Tamir Rice. Listen, I'm gonna get out of here. Be back next Monday. Hashtag You Good Man Men's Wellness Group Monday. But I'm gonna leave y'all with the wise words of Baldwin.
The reason that black people are in the streets has to do with the lives they're forced to lead in this country. And they're forced to lead these lives by the indifference and the apathy and a certain kind of ignorance, a very willful ignorance on the part of their co-citizens. Everybody knows no matter what they do not know, that they wouldn't like to be a black man in this country. They know that, and they shut their minds against the rest of it, all the implications of being a black father, or a black woman, or a black son, and all of the implications involved in a human being's endeavor to take care of his wife, to take care of his children, to raise his children to be men and women in the teeth of a structure which is built to deny that I can be a human being, or that my child can be. The great question in the country has been, all the years that I've been living here, and I was born here 43 years ago, is what does the Negro want? And this question masks a terrible knowledge. I want exactly what you want. And you know what you want. I want to be left alone. I don't want any of the things that people accuse Negroes of wanting. And I don't hate you. I simply want to be able to raise my children in peace and arrive at my own maturity in my own way, in peace. I don't want to be defined by you. I think that you and I might learn a great deal from each other if you can overcome the curtain of my color. The curtain of my color is what you use to avoid facing the facts of our common history, the facts of American life. It is easy to call me a Negro or a nigger or a promising black man, but in fact, I'm a man like you. I want to live like you. This country is mine too. I paid as much for it as you. White means that you are European still, and black means that I'm African. And we both know, we've both been here too long. You can't go back to Ireland or Poland or England, and I can't go back to Africa. And we will live here together, or we'll die here together. It is not I am telling you. Time is telling you. You will listen or you will perish.
Peace.